Quiet on set.
Quiet on set.
Hey, you, shut the fuck up. Buddy, get a fucking life, man.
Get a fucking life, mate.
Get a fucking life, mate. Quiet on set. Quiet on set.
Quiet on the motherfucking set.
Side. You're a genius, people. That's good enough.
I can't believe we just got you calling me a genius on video.
I'm cutting it.
No.
Oh.
It made me happy, people.
I'm fucking miserable today.
Oh.
Sorry. Everything that you thought could go right went wrong. But at least we're here sitting on a couch recording a podcast that I enjoy.
That I enjoy.
That I enjoy and I listen to occasionally.
You listen to us?
Barely. I tried to on the way here, or on the way to the dermatologist appointment today, and I literally heard myself speak and I was like, absolutely not. I'm turning this off immediately.
I listen
Who
like
the fuck would listen to this?
I think that a lot. I literally think to myself, who listen? Like, why would you want to listen to us talk?
We were like,
Never show fucking skin.
we were literally pretending to be like old male perverted, to be old perverted men, and we were just going up to each other and just being like,
show a little fucking skin, why don't you?
I'm like, good girl.
Be careful when you call me good girl. You know I have a praise kink.
Oh my god, a guy in bed is just like, go bitch, go bitch, go bitch.
Get it, girl? You're slaying right now.
We're literally on a date with him. He's like, chew that fucking food. Chew it. Yeah, good job. Good job.
Good job, girl. Okay, wait. First of all, I'd like to start off by saying something. So, the day after Christmas, okay, so little backstory. My phone got stolen at Lollapalooza and my ID was in my case. And sorry, I lost my ID got stolen with my phone, obviously. And I didn't have an ID until like Christmas. I didn't have an ID for like 5-6 months or something. Anywho, I'm home in Michigan for Christmas and my mom moved, so I couldn't just like get another one sent to her place. Like I had to like change the address and order a new one, and it was a whole thing, and I couldn't just do it online. So I had to go into the DMV. And I went the day after Christmas. And
I couldn't imagine.
I didn't know they were going to take my picture. So I walk in and I'm hungover as fuck. I have just spent the whole time drinking with my family, like the past like 4 days, however long I was home. Just getting hammered with the fam,
Eating some good food.
eating food, and we're headed back. And I'm like, all right, let's just go to the DMV, get out of the fucking way. And they take my picture, and I got the picture back in the mail today. Do you want to see my ID?
Sure.
This picture
just show
is...
I'll be honest, for real. You look like Peter in this. This is
I
Patrick
look like
Peter.
11 from Stranger Things.
This is Patrick Peter.
I look like Gypsy Rose in The Act. I look like 11 from Stranger Things. My dad said, I sent my dad a picture and he said, my beautiful son.
Yeah, you straight up look like a boy.
I know.
What if you start getting denied?
I know, they're going to be like, this isn't you. This is a little boy. My dad, even when we were going to take... even when we were going in, he was like, you sure you don't want to put a little makeup on? He was like, they might take your picture. Like, he wasn't saying it in a way that
like,
I was like ugly, but like,
bitch, you need to fucking roll out your face. Well, the good thing is you're not always supposed to look good in life.
You should see my passport photo. I have purple hair and space buns.
I love that. Bring it back.
Nah. Nobody would like me if I had fucking pink hair and space buns again.
So 2 weeks ago.
I mean, like,
I like was doing all this shit and I was like talking to my therapist and then like I texted Paige and I was like, y'all, I'm having like this huge healing day. Like I think like episode 8 I want to have to be about like my sobriety story and all that stuff. Originally I was like I probably wouldn't want it to be in like the first season cuz like definitely left like leave people on a cliffhanger. But then I was like, you know what? It's kind of like a big part of it. So
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a huge part of who you are, and I think it's vulnerable and very strong to show people that side of you.
yeah, I think that talking about things are easier said than done.
Yeah. Sorry,
No, you're good.
I just need to like touch you or
No,
something.
yeah, that's cool. Stop! Dude, you don't want to do that to me right now. I'm like way too horny.
Okay.
I'm like way too. I'm like, you don't want to do this to me.
I'm like,
literally, someone brushes up to me against me at the Jewel and I'm like,
mm.
yeah, they're like, shit, you want to fight? I'm like, nah, dude, I don't fuck.
Trying to get in your brain, man.
Yeah,
In your brain, man.
let's get there. We're
Okay.
getting there. So then I posted this story and I was like, episode 8, we talking about this shit. So now we can't go back.
Yep. So basically,
Ooh,
today's episode is going to be about.
we're getting deep.
Yeah, it's going to be. So basically, like a little background from both of our pasts. What's up?
I'm just fucking with you. Sorry, this is not
A
the
little
time.
background from both of our pasts. Maggie is somebody who has struggled with addiction and like trying to get
Are we
out of
gonna
it.
speak for each other?
Well, no, I'm just saying a couple things.
Oh,
Really
okay,
quick.
okay.
And you have been like extremely strong and like shown a lot of I don't know what to say. Just the way that you have gotten yourself out of it when most of the people in my life don't. You know, like it's not common to just pick like not saying that it was easy for you, but to just like pick yourself up and get out of it, you know,
No, yeah.
because I've lost a lot of people to it who've tried to get clean and tried to do it all. And okay, so basically Maggie and I, addiction is a part of both of our lives.
We're kind of trauma bonded by it,
But
potentially.
yeah, but in separate ways. Like I've
Yeah,
never.
opposite ways.
Yeah, is that what I just said?
In different ways, you said.
Oh, and yeah, in opposite ways. I personally don't have a problem.
Yeah.
But some of the people that I have absolutely loved most in my life have been addicts.
Right.
And it's not saying that it's harder by any means for me, but it's hard to love an addict.
When you're an addict and you're like dating someone, like you're fully taking advantage of them.
Yeah.
Like whether you think it or not, whether you want it to be love or not, like you're totally taking advantage of their niceness, their forgiveness, because
Mhm.
it's constantly sorry and forgiveness and sorries and forgiveness.
Not even just dating, but like just best friend and
Yeah.
people in my family, you know, people that I'm yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when people go down that route, like of addiction, their brain chemicals like literally change. Like
Mhm.
when you're doing that, taking those many drugs all the time, like the chemicals in your brain matter, like
Yeah.
literally change.
Yeah.
You become a completely different person
Yeah.
chemically. So like that's
Mhm.
crazy. Like that's like how people say, um, like if they take acid and someone goes schizo from it.
Yeah.
Like
It's literally it changes whether it's a drug, a pill, or
their perception of life is completely warped.
yeah, or even just alcohol.
Mhm. And the worst part is that a lot of the people that do deal with it like can't come to the matter of that they do have a problem.
Right.
Like when I was struggling so hard, it was like the only thing I was struggling to do was admit that I had a problem.
Right.
And it's like I can't admit that I have a fucking problem with something in life. Like, come on. We're not fucking perfect human beings.
Right. And I
Like
think
if that
that's
and like once I did overcome that and like jump that hurdle of being like I accepted that I do and I fully believe it like in
mhm,
my core, everything changed for me.
right. And I think that not everybody is able to sit here and say, "Oh, I have a problem with something," or we're
Right.
not no but everybody has one type of problem. Nobody is a perfect human being. Like I could name multiple people that wouldn't be able to sit here and be like they would literally sit here and be like, "I'm perfect. I don't have anything wrong with me."
Yeah.
Like just being able to say that is just huge on its own.
I think there's just like so much strength and vulnerability. And once I like flipped that and
Mhm.
realized that the strength is actually the ones that are like the sober people, it's actually
Mhm.
not cool to be like the one
Numb
that's fucked up and doing fucked up shit all the time and
and
like
numbing every single feeling that you ever have out.
yeah,
I think a
like
big part of people who are addicts is that you feel so deeply that you don't know how to control it.
mhm.
So you go to substances.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, that is for a lot of the people that I know. It's like they have so much going on in their head. They've felt so deeply about so many things, whether it's they have like trauma in the past
mhm,
or something that has happened. Like, I don't know, just I think that's when people become addicts too.
100%. And it's like also
Although I do believe that it's a disease and like you're born with it or not.
no,
To be
100%.
like an actual
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like a like it's addiction's like a progression. Once the trauma and stuff starts to begin from the use of substances and you know that that's your only thing that you're resorting to numbing,
Mhm.
you're pushing all that trauma down. Like the only way through things and like dealing with your trauma is like through. Like you cannot just like avoid your traumas. Like
Yeah,
if you continue to drink and put them down, they will come up continuously in your life in every single aspect.
that's very true.
Um
If you're not literally dealing with a trauma, everybody has trauma.
oh yeah.
Everybody has something.
Yeah, I mean, like for an example, like my dad, he had a horrible childhood. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't really go into it much, but what he says is like anything bad you could ever think of besides like sexual stuff. Like that's what he
Yeah.
says. And I'm like, okay.
You've
And
never like really
he doesn't talk about it.
he doesn't talk about it.
No.
Does he have a therapist or anything?
No. So that's what I was gonna say is he's like never really fully healed from his trauma,
Right, you
not
don't.
willing to. And it shows up in so many ways of
I
his
bet.
life. And I love the man and I understand that like his anxieties come from that,
Right.
like and I still love him. That's
Does
love.
he do anything to try and say like this is not what I want to do for my family?
Yeah, I mean, like he's definitely started. I mean, since I've been sober, I've been able to help him a lot more. Our relationship has helped him a lot more as well.
Mhm.
And yeah, he definitely like prays a lot more and has
Yeah.
like a connection with a higher power, which I think has helped him
That's good.
with some
Yeah.
things.
Basically, what was the thing that prompted you to say like something has to change?
It was when I was like drunk driving, like
Right.
crazy. Yeah.
Ugh.
In the city of Chicago.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was on definitely like a suicide watch. People didn't know this at the time though. This was like I could keep it together for probably the last 9 months were like the shit show. But like before that, like I was a partier.
Mhm.
Did you know I have a problem? I don't know. I mean, people who were really close to me probably, but like I thought I kept it pretty secret.
Right.
But I mean, me thinking I'm keeping a
Keeping what a
secret.
secret? What did you keep a secret?
Oh my God, I would hide alcohol everywhere.
Yeah.
I would be like watching movies with my roommates, like drinking wine, and then I would like go in the kitchen and like start ripping shots.
Wow.
Like while I was already drinking.
Oh
Like I
yeah.
was drinking, like
And
wanting
like they
more.
would be like, we're not taking shots tonight. Like it's a wine night.
Well, I was just already embarrassed. Like I knew it was not normal.
Right.
Like I knew my behavior was not normal. Once I started hiding it was when I was like, oh, that's a little weird.
So when you said to yourself, "Oh, this is a little weird," did you think I should get help?
Not at that point.
You said, did you think to yourself, "I'm gonna keep hiding this and I don't care"?
Well, I wasn't blacking out all the time, because I was doing cocaine all the time.
Right.
So like, yeah, those two together, like, you're Superman, and you don't have like an alcohol
You
problem when you're
don't,
doing
you're
a bunch
not
of coke because you're like awake and talking to people.
evens out the playing field.
Yeah, and keep in mind, I'm also taking like a bunch of Adderall on top of this stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, Chatty Cathy was probably an understatement. Like for real.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I had periods of where I wasn't really drinking. So there was points where because I was living at home for a bit,
Mhm.
and my family isn't a big drinking family, so I never really drank in front of them. So for a while, I was like, oh, it's just something I'm not having to deal with right now. But
Mhm.
then, yeah, I started drinking again, doing a lot of cocaine, and then probably during the pandemic, once I learned that I could drink alone, was like a
Game
huge thing.
changer.
Well, yeah, because I was like, I never drank alone until like people were like drinking on Zoom and stuff, and I was like, oh shit. And
What do
then
you
I was
mean drinking on Zoom?
like, people would have like during the pandemic, like in the early like first 2 weeks, like people
Mhm.
would have like Zoom parties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where they
We
would
just
all
had
like,
real parties.
yeah, like it was like
Like
a
we all
thing.
just hung out still.
Same, yeah. Like I mean, like the next week we were like all together, but like there
Right.
was like a second where like,
Where like you just FaceTimed everybody.
yeah, and then once I started like drinking alone, like it just started getting really sad and scary and
Right.
lonely.
Right.
It's a lonely place, and once you start going down, I mean, there was a point where I like looked at my mom and I was like, if I keep drinking, I don't think I'm gonna be around for much longer.
Mhm.
Like, and I knew it. I knew I was gonna die for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if I wasn't gonna kill myself, I was gonna die somehow.
Like from
Getting
being
killed, getting
getting in a
murdered,
car
like,
accident or
oh yeah. I was careless with my life completely.
mhm.
Yeah. And like there needs to be like some fucking science behind that.
Behind what?
I like even just like people like drunk people getting behind a car. I mean, it's a normal thing. It's
It's
just like
not
people
normal.
who don't think.
Yeah. I mean, it's when you're in an impaired state of mind, you don't really realize that you shouldn't be driving a car or something.
Right.
That's beyond the point.
Yeah, there would be like nights where I would wake up and like have to check the front of my car and make sure there wasn't like blood. So I like I would be like, what, like did I kill someone? And like that shit was like the worst feeling of my life.
Mhm.
Like being like,
Waking up and being like, what the fuck happened?
yeah, like I don't know if I
Or
killed
like
someone
thinking
last
if you
night.
hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Was that a fear of yours to think, am I hurting other people? Not just physically, but mentally with your addiction, like family?
Family.
Did you think about that or not really?
Yeah. I mean, every single time I woke up, I was always apologizing. I think the thing that saved me was literally my conscience. Like without that, I don't think I'd be here. I literally like when I would wake up and sober up, like the guilt and shame I would feel like is a feeling that I wouldn't wish on my
Yeah.
worst enemy.
So it wasn't like you didn't not give a fuck.
Yeah, I did give a fuck. I
Yeah.
did.
That's good.
It was more like I just would wake up and feel those feelings. I mean, the opposite of addiction is connection. So pretty much like addiction, it's like
You're
I'm doing this fucked
disconnecting.
up things. My family and I are completely separating. I'm losing all my friends. I start to lose myself. And what do I have? The bottle. Yeah. It's all you have at the end of the day. And that's how you get stuck in addiction, is because you can't turn to anything else. And that seems like the only solution because it feels good for a
It's the
sec.
only thing that does feel good
Mm-hmm.
for that second.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm about to start crying.
Okay. 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 That's fine.
Just wanted
Do
to
you want to
throw that
just
out
sit
there.
here for a sec?
No, I'm good. It's
Okay.
just I wish that
It's okay, bro.
I
This is
love you.
heavy
I just
shit.
love you, brother.
Yeah, this is heavy shit.
I'm happy you made it out of that.
Yeah.
I feel very deeply. Um,
Oh, I feel very deeply. That's cool.
um,
That's cool.
I'm just happy you made it out of that because I know a lot of people that didn't.
You can just take a second, brother.
I'm good.
Um,
I'm just
it's heavy stuff. Like
yeah.
it's easier for me to talk about it because I talk about it all the time.
Right.
um,
It is for me too. Like I won't cry sitting here talking about myself, but like when I know that other people have hurt ever in their lives, that's when I hurt.
sometimes it's just like, so Paige lost her friend to addiction, and I truly think that she just didn't know at that time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like you say, you talk about disconnect with like when you're in an addiction, how you start to lose people, and it's hard being on the other end of it
Yeah,
because you try so hard and you give every fucking ounce of your body and every ounce of your soul into I want to help. I mean, this is what I did at least. This isn't everybody. I will do anything to help you.
yeah,
I will be there to Narcan you when you OD, you know. I will be the one that like will be there for you when nobody else will be.
yeah,
Um but you get to a point where it starts to literally destroy you. And yeah.
yeah,
So like being like a family member that does disconnect from that, it's like
yeah,
you have to protect your own peace.
yeah. And it's crazy because you don't realize what you're doing, like being in that shoes. Like I'm thinking about my relationship with one of my old best friends.
Yeah.
Like my mind was like, fuck them. Like literally, like they're like my babysitter. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like I was just like, screw them, like
I mean,
I'm
that's
pushing them away. But
the
like that's
reason.
not like normal thoughts. That's like literally addiction. That's like the disease talking. It's like a disease that tells you you do not have a disease.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's the reason that
People go back.
my ex and I broke up. Was because I literally it was so toxic that he's an addict and I was like his mother.
Yeah.
The way like I was like would you just
And you
say?
get stuck in the
Would
roles.
you just say that it was like your babysitter?
Yeah.
I was literally like not even just like checking your phone because I'm scared that you're cheating on me. It's checking your phone to see which plug you texted and see what drugs you're on, you know?
Yeah.
Like I've never checked a phone in my life to be like, what other girls is he texting? Like my shit's so much deeper than that.
Yeah.
Which plug did he text? Because I know if he texted bleep and bleep that you're on pills, or if you texted bleep and bleep, you're fucking doing dope again. Like,
Yeah. No, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, and it's just as crazy, like, until you don't realize it until you get out.
right.
And like once I did realize that, and I'm able to, so I ended up having this like crazy moment in my life with this girl that I was just talking about, like
Mm-hmm.
my old best friend. I was leaving yoga class, and I did like a back-to-back yoga class, like you know how sweaty
Yeah.
it is, like doing the back-to-back.
The B2B.
Yeah. And
B2B.
instead of like going straight home to shower, I like decided to go to the lake. and going to the lake. I'm at the lake. I'm on the phone with my sponsor, and we're just talking. And I'm like, honestly, like our conversation wasn't really going anywhere. So I like stayed on the phone with her, and we were just like kind of like not talking.
Mm-hmm.
And like 2 minutes later, she just walks by me.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, Roxanne, which is my sponsor. She was like, I was like, Roxanne, I just saw this girl that I have my biggest amends for. And she just walked past me. And I'm crossing the street, and Roxanne was like, turn around and go say sorry to her. And I was like, she was with people too.
Yeah.
And I was like, absolutely not. Like, we're not doing this right now. Like, I'm not ready for this. Like, I would cry at night thinking about having to like do this apology.
You would cry thinking about the fact that you had to say sorry to her, or cry about the
Just
things that you did to her?
both, like having to face it and
Right.
face her and like do that. And
What made you upset about that?
just like
Was it a fear
the
that you
whole
thought she wouldn't
situation.
forgive you?
I thought she hated me.
Yeah.
Like, I thought she completely hated me and never wanted to speak to me again. And so pretty much I turn around, I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it. So I yell her name, and then I hang up on my sponsor, and I'm just like, hey, like, can we have a minute and talk? And she was like, yeah, totally. And it's literally in like the middle of Gold Coast. I'm wearing like spandex and like a sports bra. And I just am hysterically crying, and I'm just like, I'm so fucking sorry for what I did. And like, I'm sorry I hurt you and the pain I caused you and all this stuff. And she was just like, I never hated you. Like, I never was mad
Mm-hmm.
at you. Like, I just had to I had to take a seat in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was just like, I couldn't sit in the front row anymore. And like, I was just
That's what
like,
happened with Vina and I.
yeah. And to be able to receive that forgiveness for me, like, that was the first time I ever experienced like God in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I literally had a spiritual awakening like after that. Like, the way I felt and like the relief I felt, like, you could see it in my skin. Like, you could
Yeah.
literally see, like,
She's glowing.
after I like got to confront like my past and begin healing from it, like, I continue my sobriety, and it's become so fulfilling.
That's what happened to Vina and I.
Yeah.
Um, she didn't get to get on the other end though, which is why I'm like so fucking happy that you were able to. Um, and another reason I say she sent you to me.
Yeah. I know I
You
was joking
guys,
about the Annabelle shit, but
no,
that shit's real. Like,
you guys are so much alike, and it just amazes me. Except for you don't like Lil Peep the way she liked Lil Peep.
yeah, but she liked Excision.
Yeah, that's
Because
facts. How'd you know that?
you told me.
Oh,
Like, the first
she
month,
just liked any hardcore
the
fucking
first month, like,
rhythm.
we were hanging out, you would just be like, Dina used to do that. And I just like, dude, I'm not gonna like start talking like her and shit.
Oh,
Like,
you do talk like her. Yeah.
you had questions?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, what, like, I know they say, like, take it one day at a time,
Hmm.
but what encourages you from day to day to stay sober?
Right. All of those like sayings and stuff, like when I first got sober, like drove me insane because I
Right.
was just like,
You're like, shut up, it's not that
one
easy.
day at a time. I was like, yeah, for
You're
sure.
like, I'm taking this 1 hour at a time.
Um, dude, what helped me get there? Number one, I couldn't do it without rehab. Going to rehab for the first 3 months of my sobriety was like key for me, at least. I don't know how people do it without it.
Why?
Because they drug test you every day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you won't.
For somebody in my life, it was the fact that the rehab experience was so traumatizing, they never wanted to go back.
Yeah, that too. I don't want to go to rehab ever again.
Yeah.
It's horrible. The things I heard in there
However,
was
you did an
horrible.
outpatient, didn't you?
Yeah, so it was like a little bit. Honestly, I think it was a little bit like worse in that way.
Oh, yeah, because you could go and experience the real world,
And
like, while you're recovering.
dealing with my traumas in the past, like, I know that I'm definitely like a alcoholic at heart because it is just in my
I'm an
DNA.
alcoholic at heart.
My fucking heart is shaped like the goddamn whiskey bottle of Jack
What
Daniels.
was your drink of choice?
Uh vodka, Tito's for sure. I like tequila. I was a tequila girl
I
towards the
like
end.
tequila, but I'm able to stop.
Anything hard and fucking fast. Anything hard and fast.
Yeah.
And then like, but it would just be gross and shit because I mean, I would just take a lot of drugs when I would drink. So I would just, the goal was to get as fucked up as
So
possible.
answer my fucking question.
One day at a time.
No, that wasn't my question.
The reason why they say it is because
That wasn't my question either. I know why this. I guess we could explain it to the people.
the reason why they say it, it's just like you gotta live in the present and like realize that this is just stay sober today. Like,
Because it's hard for a lot of people to say, sit here and say, oh my God, I have to be sober for the rest of my life.
right.
You can say, no, but you will be sober today.
Yeah,
Or I will
exactly.
be sober today.
Yeah, and some days it's not
So
even
that's a lot
just
easier to
it's
say
not even
that.
just one day at a time. Sometimes it's 1 minute at a time. Sometimes
That's
it's
a,
1 hour at a
yeah,
time.
that's what
Like
I was saying.
for real.
So, what encourages you every single day? Like, what is the reason why you don't relapse?
The promising future I now have. I know that I'm going to be successful in life.
Hmm.
No doubt. I know that I got myself. I trust myself completely now.
It's a almost to go a little deeper, the reason your encouragement to stay where you are, to stay sober, is because you trust yourself now.
Yeah.
You fully, I mean, before you felt like there wasn't anything for you.
Right. I mean, I was completely hopeless, ready to die. So, like, I mean, I didn't think there was a possibility of feeling happy. Like,
Right.
I forgot the feeling of happiness
And
because
that's what
I just
happens
was
when
so unhappy.
alcohol and drugs literally rework your brain.
Right.
Is you forget that feeling and you are unable to get that feeling without a bottle or without a pill. Pick
Yeah.
up a pill, pick up a fucking, I don't know.
Right. It was
Feeling
honestly,
depressed? Take a pill.
yeah. I mean, thinking back at it, it's like once I hit my 1 year, reviewed just all the positive and amazing things that have happened in my life because I'm sober. And I mean, if you look at the other shit of reasons why I'm,
You got your head screwed on straight now.
yeah, I mean, it's a life that I can live and I'm happy.
God, I wish fucking would just realize that.
Dude, it's hard to realize. I mean, it's hard to say goodbye to that shit.
It's also like
It
from,
scared me so bad that I don't want to go back.
yeah.
For some people, there is the the rock bottom can be so rock bottom.
Some people I think love the rock bottom.
For me, I hit rock bottom a couple times, but it was I don't want to even fucking experience the lower rock bottoms
Yeah.
that could potentially happen.
What was your rock bottom?
There was a lot of rock bottoms, but
For you, maybe it
it was
was
just the accumulation of things.
like when I asked you what was the moment you realized you wanted to get sober, and you would say like the pain that you felt like when you would wake up.
Yeah, it was a
Like,
specific night when I was drunk
ever
driving.
tell you the shoe story about my ex?
No. Did he steal your shoes?
No.
Oh. Um.
One time he took 12 bars and tried to stab a guy with a screwdriver.
Oh shit! I never did that. Luckily.
It was all because this guy like knocked a little makeup thing over that I had.
Once I realized I was hurting so many people, I isolated myself when I was drinking
Right.
and like would just be in the black abyss probably for like the solid like 2 years of my life.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So would you say like the the way that you feel like you have your life figured out now, the way that you feel like your, I don't know how else to put this, but like your head is screwed on straight now, would you say that's the reason you're able to not fall off the wagon?
Is because I can think I mean, yeah, I can handle anything that is brought to me. I can handle any situation, bad situation, because I am sober. I couldn't handle situations when I would drink because I would just drink more.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any coping skills. I have so many coping skills and tools. I didn't have anybody. I have so many people now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's night and day.
Everybody's always here.
And if you were in my situation, you would have made the same exact choice. I
Yeah.
promise you. Because of the way I feel, the way I look, just everything, my whole entire attitude of life changed completely within this year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would have been unrecognizable. Well, you and I would have been friends. I was not a friendly person.
Yeah, we probably wouldn't have been friends. And
I didn't like talk
if
to people.
we would have been friends, it would have destroyed me.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't get close to anyone.
Yeah.
None of my friends were.
Not that it would have, I mean, it would have destroyed me in the way that I feel so fucking deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in the way that I, like, would rather help people before I help myself.
Right. And like,
That's how it would have.
the hardest thing is to do is to like realize that the thing that is going to work is letting them go, cutting them off, stop giving them the money.
Mm-hmm.
Let them literally face the only thing left they got in their goddamn room is that goddamn mirror that they can look at themselves with. And they have nobody to call. And it's like, it's at that point where it's either they're going to die or they're going to get clean.
That's what happened to a family member of mine.
Yeah.
Who absolutely hit rock bottom and never made it out of that rock bottom.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, my uncle, he like just died in Chicago on the street. And like my grandpa, cirrhosis of the liver. Like,
My grandpa has
yeah.
cirrhosis of the liver too. My uncle died in prison.
Yeah. And like, and don't
What's
get
up
me
with
wrong.
uncles and grandpas?
Don't get me wrong. Like,
Can I stretch
drugs
my
and
legs?
alcohol, yeah, it can be used in I think I'm not the type of person that ever think, oh, you got a drinking problem. I'm not like out like looking at people's drinking and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you watch me drink every weekend, every time, every
Yeah,
day.
and I make some really fucking funny jokes about it.
But
Like,
it's also like I'm able to obviously go out and have a drink, and
right, and I'm able
I
to.
might want to go party and keep the party going, but I'm able to come home and go to bed.
Right, exactly. No, like you completely get it. I mean, you've experienced more trauma than most people in life. So have
Me?
I. Yes.
Yeah, that's facts.
And
maybe we'll get into my trauma a different day.
yeah, I thought we were just gonna trauma dump, but maybe that'd be too much.
I can trauma dump.
People
but
are literally just like.
I think if I throw my trauma into here, that much for the episode.
we win like a Grammy.
The most like dramatic, the most traumatized people
podcast ever. We should say that. The most trauma, that should be our
the most traumatized podcasters.
No, the caption of this podcast should be
Yeah.
the most traumatized podcast.
Yeah, honestly it is.
That could be a funny title.
Okay, that's fine.
But yeah,
I don't claim
I mean,
to be.
As sad as this is, or sad as the subject can be, it can be such an enlightening, amazing subject as well.
And that's why we talk about it. And also, like, I know half the answers to the questions that I'm asking you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking them because I want other people to listen, and I want it to inspire the other people.
Exactly. We didn't do this because I want to
fucking
talk
just tell
everybody
ourselves.
like about my addiction problems. Like, no, I want this to help people. And the thing is, I know it has helped people because as I don't talk about it a lot, but when I do, I've had people reach out to me so many times, and it does make a difference talking about your issues. Again, there is strength and vulnerability, and the more we do talk about these issues, like there's a reason this was talked about so mocktails could get on a menu. You know what I mean?
There's so much strength and vulnerability. The way that when I was, I don't know, just younger, I could not handle my emotions because of how deeply I feel.
Yeah.
I would go to anger and aggression or something, but now I've realized that that was so weak of me to hide those feelings when I was like, maybe just sad, or maybe I was just feeling
Right.
deeply that day, or
And it's courageous
something
to
I've
confront those
yeah,
emotions.
I agree. And something that I've realized um with like my journey of being like a very empathetic person is that the way I feel half the times isn't even my feelings, it's somebody else's that I'm swallowing and that I'm taking into my own body.
Right.
A lot of empaths are addicts
Yeah.
because they feel too much
100%.
and you want to
And
numb
creatives.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and creatives. But what I have learned now is that my sensitivities are the strongest part about me.
Hmm.
And I think that if you hide your feelings, if you hide your emotions, I just look at you and I think that that's weak.
Right.
Talk about it.
Hmm.
Be vulnerable because that's what's fucking strong.
Hmm.
That's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah. Is
That's
to
why
say,
you hide
hey,
it.
like,
That's why
I
you cover it
actually,
up.
that's why you don't raise your hand in class.
It's because it's hard.
It's because you don't want to, like, be embarrassed and ask the question. You don't want to look dumb. You don't want
So,
to,
speaking of
when the smartest people out here are the most vulnerable.
facts, like me.
Right.
So, speaking of um talking about this and putting this out in the world, what would you recommend for anyone listening who's trying to get sober, or anybody who is sober? What would you recommend for them to do to stay sober?
For people who are curious and think they might have a problem, I would say read everything you can. That's what I did. I literally would stay before I got sober, I would literally stay on Reddit and I'd spend nights just reading through Reddit of what it's like being sober, all the sober questions you could ever imagine. Reddit is a great place for curious beavers like me. And um just researching about the disease, researching how to get sober. Then if you can't do it yourself, you got to get help. You got to go to rehab if you can't get sober.
How do you recommend somebody to
Oh,
ask for help?
you got to call. There's a hotline for a reason.
Oh yeah, we should put the hotline thing in the beginning of this.
Yeah, there's a hotline that you can call and they're there for a reason. They'll give you all the resources. And those are my people. They're there to help, and those people don't get paid for anything. They're just doing it for the kindness of their heart. How to stay sober,
Damn,
work the steps.
I had the addiction hotline number in my phone, but I don't anymore.
Yeah. How to stay sober, work the steps. That's how I stayed sober, and sponsoring people. If you're miserable sober and you're working the steps still, you should probably look into sponsoring people because it's the greatest thing in the world is to help people that you struggle with stuff that you struggled with, being the thing that you needed when you
When you needed
were,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's facts. Straight fucking facts. What do you do
What do I do?
when you feel triggered like I need a fucking drink?
Um,
Pray?
trying to think what I do. I sit in the feeling of feeling uncomfortable. I know
Mm.
it's gonna go away.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
I
know.
loved that answer.
It always passes. The want to drink, it will always pass. Whether I need to sleep it off, I need to eat, whether I'm tired. It's one of those things usually that's triggering it, and I only way is through. You just got to feel it through, and it'll go away. Just got to hold out on it. I know that it's literally I have to physically pick this shit up and put it in my mouth and swallow it. I
Yeah,
have to physically do that.
right,
So like I can handle that. I know that I will not pick that up.
right.
You know?
You
Like there
are
was nights
able.
where I'd see it across the room and I'd be like,
So,
like I see you, but
yeah,
I'm not gonna fucking touch you.
I hate
Like
you.
not gonna put you near my mouth. Like because I had that I guess willpower, but that's just based on faith and all the things I do, like faith and service and all that stuff.
Hmm.
I probably sound insane. And like always having if I'm triggered, I'll drink a Diet Coke.
So
For
you're
real.
triggered 24/7.
True. I drink Diet Coke like it's my job.
She really does.
Um, Diet Coke, please sponsor me. That's a goal one day. The only way is through motherfuckers. I think that's the only thing that I'll leave that on. And that it's important to talk about this stuff, and that I'm fucking done talking about it.
You're done talking about it?
Right now, at least.
Okay.
I feel like we got enough time.
Yeah, we got a lot.
Okay, cool. Well, how do you feel?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah. What?
Maybe go into good. It's just like a one and
Fine.
we kind of have a podcast where we talk and stuff. So, how you feeling? Good. Good.
Feeling good. I mean, I cried on the pod.
First time crying on the pod.
It's definitely not the first time I've cried on the pod.
But like out of sadness.
Out of sadness, yeah. Usually if I'm crying on the pod, it's because this wasn't even sad, bro.
It was happy.
I was crying because
like shit. No, I'm kidding.
I know, brother. I know.
You're like, I know, because if you weren't, I would have fucking ate you.
I would have fucking swung on your ass, but then you would have probably fucking ended up beating me up.
Yeah, that would be a crazy outro.
The pod ends with you just beating my fucking ass. I don't know. I'm feeling good about this. I'm glad that you were able to talk about it. I hope that there's certain people in my head that I have that are fucking listening, and this will hopefully open up their eyes a little bit, knowing how to take some steps to move forward in a recovery, how to stay in your recovery.
Right.
And I'm really fucking proud of you.
Thanks,
and I know
bro.
I didn't know you when you were struggling.
Yeah, and like a PSA, if you are an addict and you know you're an addict, you will never be able to control it. Like no matter what you do in life, you will never ever be able to control it. It's not a controllable disease.
You can't control any disease.
Yeah. Anyways, hell yeah, that was fucking episode 8.
I'm really proud of you, and
I'm proud of you too, dude. It's not easy losing someone that you love.
Thanks, brother.
At all. Episode 8, that is a wrap. We love you guys, and we will see you next week. Cheers.